Hi, my name's Dr. Kate Ringham. I'm the Programme Lead in Applied Accounting in Oxford Brookes Business School at Oxford Brookes University. And this video is the first in a series of videos about referencing. And we're going to start by thinking about why do we reference? So referencing is one of the key academic skills that you will develop as you are working on your research report. And so it's probably sensible to start thinking about, well, why do we reference? Well, we reference to acknowledge the words and ideas or work of others and to not simply present them as if they were our own ideas. So within the academic world, we are all working to generate knowledge. And if I am writing academic papers and create a new model or a framework or generate an idea, then I really want other people to acknowledge that and use that idea, but I do want to make sure that they tell everybody else that it was my idea in the first place. So if you think about it from the point of view of intellectual property, if I've created a new model, then that's sort of my intellectual property, and I want to make sure that everybody knows that it was my idea in the first place. I want lots of people to use that model, but I want to make sure that people acknowledge that it's mine. So that's one of the reasons why we reference, to show who had the idea in the first place. We want to make sure that other people can identify and trace our sources quickly and easily. And we also want to demonstrate that we have got facts, we can support the facts and claims that we're making in our text. And both of those points are really relevant in the workplace. So if you were writing a report for your manager in the workplace and you wanted to give credibility to the argument that you're presenting in that report, or give credibility to the facts that you're stating, including references as to where you got your data or where you got your information from is one way that you can enhance the credibility of what you're writing. It also demonstrates that you've read widely and you've used a variety of sources. So they are the reasons why we include references within our work. And in terms of how many references, do we have to reference absolutely everything? Well, what we say is that you don't need to reference what we call commonly known facts. So anyone that's an accountant or a finance professional will know that listed shares are traded on a stock market. That is what we call common knowledge. It's a commonly known fact. There's no need to reference that type of knowledge. What we do need to reference are the models and the frameworks and the data that is coming from specific sources. So the SWOT and the PEST are not common knowledge. You do need to reference where you got that from, and the annual report also must be referenced so that people can trace that particular source. And so where do we include those references? Well, we include those references in the body of work. So in your research report, you include what's called an in-text citation. And you can see in the paragraph here, we are referring to Allen and Lee and Searson, the writing in red. They are the writers, they are the authors of the information that I'm referring to here about how leaders work in teams. And that is where we have paraphrased. So we've read the work of Allen and Lee and Searson, we've taken their ideas, we've written it in our own words. That's called paraphrasing, but we need to acknowledge that the idea came from Allen and Lee and Searson. And that's one of the ways that we can reference in our work. Another way is where we can use the exact words somebody else has used. So in this example, you can see that there are words within quotation marks. and that is where I have used the words written by Taylor on page 56, and I've exactly used those same words. There is another video around paraphrasing, so please do have a look at that to understand a little bit more about why paraphrasing is a very important academic skill. We also include the reference in a reference list. So the reference list is a list of all the sources that are cited in the body of work and no others. So our research report includes lots of in-text citations. Each of those the in-text citation is included in the reference list, but there aren't any others. A bibliography is everything that we've read about a topic, and that is not needed in our research and analysis project submission. We are looking for a reference list. So that is the list of things that you have referred to in your writing. So all the in-text citations appear in the reference list. We do have a series of other videos about referencing, and that will explain how to reference in more detail. So at Oxford Brookes University we use what we call Harvard referencing, and then the how to reference will explain how to use Harvard referencing in more detail. There will also be a video on how to paraphrase, because paraphrasing is a really important part of your academic writing. There will also be a video on how to reference if you've conducted primary research, because there might be some things you need to think about particularly there. And there's a general video on academic writing. So please do subscribe to the channel to make sure that you don't miss any of the upcoming videos.